create unity? Well, if we want to bring anything together, the first thing we have to do is establish a point of communication. That's step number one. So the Al-Wada channel, and maybe we don't call it that, but that's, for the purpose of the proposals, the Al-Wada channel, which means unity in Arabic. The whole idea of that is to give us a central point where Muslims can communicate. We don't have to worry about communicating to the rest of the world in a huge way at this point, okay? What we need to be able to do is create unity. It's the one problem that it's the biggest problem as far as I can see. So if we can have news will draw an audience. That's what news does. It draws an audience. They want to get the latest information. If we have news, that'll draw audience. If we have viewpoints, that will create discussion. If we have roundtable, we can put 2 and 3 different and 4 different viewpoints together, and we can have that kind of dialogue. What's the difference between a Wahhabi and a Salafi, okay? Now, what we do in Islam today is, you have your Aqidah, and I have my Aqidah, and your Aqidah is wrong. Well, let's sit down and you bring your evidence and I'll bring my evidence, and if we're both two open-minded individuals, we are going to probably most likely arrive at a common place, okay? But we will not, or even a compromise. Now the word compromise in Islam is a dirty word, okay? Because we're not supposed to use our minds. As long as we are going by the guidelines of the Quran and the Sunnah, what are we talking about? The Quran is the book. The Sunnah, in some aspects, who knows the Sunnah? The Arabs say they know the Sunnah, and the Sunnah is this. The Pakistanis say they know the Sunnah, and the Sunnah is this. They're Sahih Muslim, they're Sahih Bukhari, they're Sahih, Muslim. Not all of these, this is the history, and this is used for us to use as guidelines. But this is not something we should be dividing over. If you don't believe Hadith number 104 out of Sahih Muslim, this should not divide us between a brother and sister. This should be something we discuss, and we may agree to disagree, but we come to an end point of this constant disruption of our ummah. We're not going to get anywhere as Muslims, okay? We're never going to hold ground again. We're never going to have Khilafah if we don't get our act together. So as far as I can see, communication is step one. We can, and we need to do that in a strategy that we don't need to target the non-Muslim, but we need to do that strategically in the sense that the perception of that channel is now not, jihad, or mysticism, or any of the labels that the enemies of Islam like to they like to draw aspects out. I mean, they'll accept Islam, they'll accept you praying 5 times a day. But don't mention the word jihad. Don't mention the word Palestine, or you'll have Hannigan all over you. Okay, so we need to build a bigger mousetrap with real reach. Now, I looked at doing that through a television channel. Al-Azhar just got a television channel. There's a television channel now on Malaysian television, channel 113 or something, that is trying to, put out some information on television. The problem with television is that it's going to be censored. First of all, it's going to cost us a whole lot of money to try to get a license, and we're going to have issues in trying to get that license. Assuming we do get that license, we're going to be totally dominated by the fact that we're on a television satellite network, and that at any given time we're going to be pressured to go down one way or the other. The internet is the only thing that is actually still open to us, but censorship is coming to the web too. 2 years ago in the United States, a law was passed that allowed the telecommunication companies to begin to charge for the use of the pipe that connects you to the internet. Well, it isn't here yet, and we probably have a year or two before it is here. Their whole plan, and they're working out now the pricing structure, is to price based on how fast you want to serve up to the web. So if I'm Microsoft, I will pay a fee to the telecommunications guy, a healthy fee, and I will get fast access to the internet. But all the little small guys down here who can't afford it will be relegated to the slow lanes. That's how they're going to censor. You know, there's a lot of discussion about how they're going to censor the web. You know, the West wants to try to shut down the jihad sites. They can't. There's all these different, you know, ways out there of how they're trying to figure out to censor it. How they're going to censor it is with capitalism, with money. So, you know, a site like Jihad Unspun or, you know, Brother Arif's streaming channel, it's going to be price prohibitive to be able to access, to serve up streaming rich content.